Is 20 megapixels enough for shooting portraits? Let's find out. What is going on, guys? It's Dakota from Caldod Photography, and this video will consist of a mini photography review based on my experience with one of Canon's newest cameras, the R6. With the release of the R5 and its 45 megapixel sensor, I feel that the R6 camera is often overlooked for photography usage. Although it only has a 20 megapixel sensor, it is still a full frame camera with great capabilities from a photographer's standpoint. Let's go over a few. Is 20 megapixels enough for portrait photography? This is probably the most asked question I've seen since the release of the R6. The short answer is yes. This camera is more than capable of being a primary workhorse device for photographers. The R6 offers amazing dynamic range, the image quality is really good with beautiful straight out of camera JPEGs, and the R6 also boasts decent levels of details in RAW files and performs pretty okay in low light. Not to mention, with a lower megapixel sensor comes smaller size RAW and JPEG files. I've been shooting on the Sony a7R III for a year now, and having to transfer and store giant size files can somewhat be a hassle. It felt good to go through 2 photo shoots with a 128 gig SD card and still have space left over. When taking sensor sizes into account, you also want to think about how you'll be publishing your work. If IG is your primary source for advertising your work, then 20 megapixels is more than enough. I've seen some amazing photographers like Manny Ortiz and Brandon Cole create some really sharp portraits using the a7S III and its 12 megapixel sensor. So 20 megapixels is more than enough for shooting portraits. The EOS R was my first ever Canon camera that I used, and in terms of handling, it felt great. I was really relieved when I found out the R6 felt the exact same way. This camera has a pro-grade full-frame build and fits ever so nicely in larger hands. Canon also added a joystick to the back of the R6 that you can use to customize controls and other settings. The R6 also has an articulating screen and dual-card UHS-2 slots. The R6 features the latest version of Canon's dual-pixel CMOS autofocusing system. The eye autofocus is much better than how I remember the EOS R performing. Out of 70 or so shots that I took from this shoot, only 4 of them were out of focus. And honestly, that's probably because I was moving towards the subject still pressing the shutter button. With Canon's dual-pixel AF2 system, it's able to recognize eyes, faces, and heads, meaning that the camera will remain in focus even if your subject temporarily looks away from you. And it's all powered by machine learning. Overall, I enjoyed using the Canon R6 and was honestly itching to use another Canon system since shooting with the EOS R over a month ago. The color science is still amazing. The camera feels really good in your hands, and the eye autofocus is also good and much improved since the EOS R. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and drop a like, as it tremendously helps my channel. And if you're new to my channel, make sure you go click that subscribe button so you don't miss any upcoming content. Thanks again, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.